Hey guys. Hey guys, welcome back to World of Tanks with Hachiman. Um, this is part one of a video with part one of a two-parter, excuse me, with Alex in his T110E5. Alex is in my clan, a very valued clan member. Actually, he's my XO. I unlocked the T110E5.
Time to roll out.
And I played about 200 games in it, and I understood the specs of the tank. But I'll be honest, I never was able to make the machine perform. You see his Mark of Excellence star on his barrel. I was never able to make the machine perform. It's a very mobile, heavy tank, pretty good frontal hull armor. Actually, it can be very good when angling properly. Turret armor, not quite as good as the hull, but it has a lot of sloping backwards. It's got a big gun mantlet. The obvious weak point is that huge machine gun port on the top. Alex here is on Sand River, 44%er according to XVM. Teams actually look pretty even to me. And the other team is just not counting on Alex to have is not counting on the fact that Alex is about to have the game he has. Realizing no one is taking the point, realizing no one's taking this area right here, he goes up there. Somebody, when defending this map, has to come up here. At least one tank, if not two or three. It has to happen, because if you don't spot the enemy as they come through here. You don't have anybody to spot them while they sit here, so that the guys here can put fire on them. You don't get spots on these guys and discourage them from hanging out. You have to do this. The T110E4 has a fantastic 120mm gun. It's the same gun as the top gun on the M103. It is extraordinarily accurate, good penetration, and solid alpha damage.
Enemy armor is damaged.
Alex puts in a fantastic shot on the FV4202, seeing just the very top of the tank. There's a T-71 harassing him. One penetrating hit, one bounce. Alex is very careful. The other thing about this tank is its gun depression is phenomenal. It can move up the backside of a hill like many of the American mediums. It can move up the backside of a hill and peek its gun over, which is absolutely fantastic. Realizing nothing's been spotted over here, Alex makes the move in and finds an Indian Panzer and a German E100. He's moving very carefully, zooming in, gets a spot on the T-71 and another light. Takes a shot at the T-71, misses, probably didn't aim fully, because he really couldn't afford to sit there. And T-71's just holding still, so Alex says, fine. You hold still. Go ahead. T-71 runs away. E-100. Nice shot right into the side of the E-100. Into the armor skirts, just covering the top of the track. And then there's an M103. Alex zooms in on the hatch on top, the weak spot, and plants one right into it. M103 takes a huge hit from somebody. Alex puts the kill in on the light tank. He's already made 5 penetrating hits on 1,700 damage for a kill. M103 gets finished off. U100 is still... There he is. Ooh, Alex was backing up. Now, that shot was not a bad shot, but the E100 was looking right at him, so he took the shot while backpedaling, and unfortunately it just went low and into the ridge. If the E100 hadn't been looking right at him, Alex, I'm sure, would have sat there and aimed just a little bit better. But that's okay. He's using his hit points very carefully. Spots a Foch. Aiming at the horizontal bar on the top. Shot goes a little low, but that's enough discouragement to make the Foch run away. U100's back for more. Alex very carefully moves forward, puts one right into the top of the turret. That's one of the... If all you see is the turret of an E100, hit that very top ledge. Or sometimes with a good gun, you can penetrate the cheeks if they're not angled. IS-3 goes down. to a Jagdpanzer E100, and that's a scary thing, because no one has spotted that Jaeger yet. Alex decides to check the back side of the hill. There hasn't been much going on here for a minute. That Indian Panzer cut across the middle, and Alex is not one. Indian Panzer is not a real danger to this tank, facing it frontally, but the T110E5 has horrible armor in the rear, and even Indian Panzer can pen it. So he's checking out the hill situation and trying to get a spot on the Indian Panzer. Spots a T-34 at range.
We didn't even scratch
Takes a
it.
shot, bounces off the turret, and aiming at the hatch on top, skates off the top of the turret. That's not an easy shot to pull off, especially at 400 meters or so. Spots a 409, puts a shot into the side of his turret, or the cheek of his turret, excuse me. Not 409, 4202. 4202 backs off. There's that Indian Panzer. So Alex now knows his rear is immediately clear. He can turn back to the work at hand on this side. That was the whole point of that maneuver, to make sure that Indian Panzer wasn't right there. He's got the Jaeger, but the Jaeger's at a really good angle, and I think his shot goes low into the dirt. Jaeger's trying to get away.
Penetration.
Puts a shot into the side, 427 damage. I'm impressed. That shot often will not penetrate at that angle, but now he's got a machine gun turret on the top, pens that. Alex is just making his gun work using his tank's advantages, which is good mobility for a heavy, great gun depression, and a very accurate gun, allowing him to zoom in on weak spots. E100's coming up again. Alex checking his rear. I don't think he's comfortable with his rear. He wants to check it again. That E100 and that Jaeger are not going to come forward. Looking. Yeah, there's that T-34 still. Pens the side of his turret, respots the Indian Panzer. And again, Alex knows that his rear is pretty much clear. T-34 is looking right at him. Takes a shot, which I'm sure, if it did hit, did not penetrate. Spots the T-34 again. Maybe it did penetrate after all. T-34 falls just back behind the ridge. T110E3, that's bad. Alex shoots, takes a snapshot, machine gun port misses. He's wiggling as he moves backwards, and as a result, only loses his track. And you see how quickly he repaired it. He's got a pretty good repair crew here. E100's come up and just misses, fires a shot over the top of his turret. Alex returns fire. It was a snapshot, little chance to hit. E100 just took a beating from somebody, and now Alex just has to zoom in and put the right shot in. E100 is almost dead. In fact, his engine was out, he couldn't move. And the T-57, the IS-8 finishes off the E100. The Jaeger now really doesn't know what to do. Alex zooms in on the turret, didn't aim fully, shot went slightly wide. Machine gun turret, excuse me. I'll speed up time a little bit.
That one bounced.
Alex bounces the top. Checks his rear. Zooms in on the turret again and hits it. Pens the lower plate as the Jaeger charges. Jaeger turns. Bounces the side. That's what I was saying earlier about that shot will usually bounce. Misses shot after tracked by the Jaeger. Zooms in on the machine gun turret. Holds still. Hits and pens. And huge hit from the Jaeger. Ammo racks him, but Alex just waits for the right shot, pens the side for the kill. This game is over. There's 50 seconds left. A ton of friendly